Pythagoras came to these lands to settle a first school that is what we can call the most similar to a university. He was the first creator of a school, a body of knowledge that was perpetuated by the pupils that became teachers, and this gave fruit to what we call today universities, place where we get in touch with the knowledge which is single and all-pervading. So let's discuss today some of the characteristics of this school. We mentioned that he developed many sciences and he converted himself in the expression of a new modality that through the Magna Greece, this region of the ancient Greek civilization, impregnated the world. He came here, started speaking to people, sharing with them the ancient knowledge he had learned through all the past initiations in the different parts of the ancient world, and started to magnetize towards him a group of people that were interested in pursuing the truth, a group of seekers that were thirsty of deep wisdom. And this inner group of around 450, 440 people created a first community that lived in the outsides of Croton, a very simple life based in studying wisdom through the insight of observation of nature, leading a simple life in nature and having an horizontal relationship based in friendship. And we will look into all these aspects in depth. Once he settled this first inner group of people, he started magnetizing people coming from overseas, from abroad, from further distance in the ancient world that were willing to learn under his guidance. And the school had many branches. He taught medicine and the deep notion through inner insight of the elements of the world and the plants that had healing purposes. He taught music and color as two ways of obtaining healing through magnetization and arrangement of the deeper inner waves and currents of the subtle bodies. He taught arithmetics and geometry as parts of mathematics. He taught music and he taught astronomy. He was the first man to call himself philosopher. In these ancient times, the people that were imparting knowledge were called sages, but Pythagoras had himself in a very low esteem. He had learned at the feet of such great masters of all different cultures that he couldn't call himself a master of wisdom. So he coined the term philosopher. He was the first one to use this term and to start the path of philosophy even in ancient Greek. And he coined this term to express the one that is in real deep love, which profound knowledge. So he's a seeker. He's not somebody that has the wisdom as a teacher, of a master, of a sage. Those are terms that are all conclusive, they're closed in themselves. However, a philosopher is that who is continuously pursuing wisdom and knowledge. The one that is always walking towards the ideal of understanding through the mind. So he's the first philosopher, and he creates this school of ancient knowledge which was very strict. The school was open to everybody as a probationist, but it had very strict rules to enter it and to become a real student in the school. Because once you become the student, he would share with you the deep occult teachings of all times that he had himself acquired through very difficult procedures in the mystery schools of Chaldean, of Babylonian, of Phoenician, of even ancient India. It is said that Pythagoras, when he passed through the initiation at the Elephanta Island with the Brahmins of India, had a name. He was called Pythia. Pythia Guru. The Guru from Pythia, from the ascending energy of the deep earth as a form of a snake represented in the ancient Vedic teaching. He was the one that could put his energy, his vital energy, from an horizontal way into a vertical way. He had mastery of his own vital energies ascending in the form of a serpent that the Vedas call Kundalini. So he was called the Pythia Guru. He was also called by a term that in Sanskrit meant Greek philosopher, the one, or Greek sage, the one coming from Greece to learn and to teach. And in this way, the schools of mysteries were organized in a fashion where you were always learning. You were a teacher to the ones that were in the step below, and you were students to the ones that were in a step above. And this scale of teachers and students went up from the physical plane into subtle planes where the head of all these branches of mystery schools that took different cultural expressions throughout the world and the times, the head master of this school is nobody else than the world teacher. So this is the deep understanding in the hierarchy of pupils and teachers where Pythagoras got his ancient knowledge.